Abuela would never scream my name, not even when I was being an 11-year-old descarada, strutting my stuff in a uniform skirt a half block in front of her so the 7th and 8th graders would think I had parents that let me walk home alone. This being after La Pobre Vieja walked across Hialeah so I wouldn't have to. So Mommy wouldn't have to imagine my kidnapping and suffer 18 anxiety attacks while speeding towards job 2. Whenever Abuela had it up to here with me, whenever I swiped her sewing scissors, dulled them with canvas paper, when she caught me holding them by the blades like a Victorian barber, or when I lost said scissors indefinitely, usually around crunch time for a seamstress, like Halloween or Nochebuena, Abuela would bark my name, a bark that echoed like she was chasing me in a cave, a bark like a Rottweiler's, like the Rottweiler she fought off with her bare hands in '99, on the corner of La Ocho y La 59. She was 76 and gouging the eyes of the freaking chupacabra in the middle of the street. I was 9 and catapulted onto the sidewalk, sent sailing out of harm's way by esa vieja loca. By the time Chupa's owner bolted out of his house, said Rottweiler was without his right eye. Señora, señora, Chupa's owner begged, holding the bloody dog by the fat of his neck. Let's take you to a hospital. I remember him in work boots and faded jeans stained with every shade of paint, shaking so ferociously I thought the stains might liquefy and drip off. Abuela waved him away, threatening him with her owl eyes when he attempted to come to her aid. She inspected her massacred calf with pursed lips, patting the little ivory hairs that had escaped her impeccable sock bun. I was freakishly unscathed, like she'd cast a protection spell before she flung me, like she'd set me floating with magic like some bruja, although she was a devout Jehovah's Witness and would have set the Rottweiler on me for even making a demonic joke like that. Abuela, ¿y si tienes rabies? I asked. She didn't respond, just sucked her false teeth. I know, per Cuban or American myth, that if one dreams of teeth loosening from gums and dropping, it means someone close to the dreamer will die. Abuela's been toothless in her sleep since before I was born. Back in Cuba, in her mid-50s, she willingly substituted her dientes for dentures. Mommy told me so, over 2 decades after Abuela maimed the Rottweiler. By then, Abuela was speechless and unable to explain herself. Although Abuela was mi papa's mother, Mommy frequented Season's hospice, warmed the turquoise pleather chairs in Abuela's room more than I did. I made time at least once a week, and the two of us would find ourselves watching La Vieja on a bed so white I figured they were trying to give it the appearance of angel wings, make it as close to a chariot to the other side as possible. A broken femur, a surgery to fix it, and the dementia that inspired Abuela to clot her stitches like they were proof of alien experiments had her striped to super white beds. I hate seeing her without her teeth, I said, watching Mommy moisten Abuela's tongue with a little sponge. Abuela's eyes were half closed, but she was asleep. Her mouth was open and wrinkled inward in an uninterrupted black hole, like the well that was her only water source in El Campo in Cuba, before Castro's men seized her mother's farm. She looks even less like herself, I said. Abuela had suffered a stroke the night before, and half a functioning face wasn't enough to keep dentures in place. She's had those false teeth, Mommy said, returning the sponge to a glass of water and wiping her hands on her jeans. Since before she was my age, lo sabía. What happened to her real teeth? I asked. She got an infection in Cuba, one tooth, y le dijo al doctor to take them all out, pa' carajo. What did Papi say? I asked. She sighed, easing herself onto the seat beside me. Tu papa already knew that his mother was media loca. Because she was a communist? I asked as a nurse entered. Buenas, the nurse said monotonously, and Mommy and I buenas back in unison. Eso también, Mommy said, holding her phone at arm's length to squint at Facebook notifications, her glasses hanging at her chest. I used to picture Abuela's communism in black and white. Imagine old movies of her in a tight pencil skirt that slithered to a classy just below the knee, a tucked-in blouse with tasteful ruffles, her hair jet black and cut under large ears, marching with an equally emotional crowd of more slithering pencil skirts and men with bottle-cap glasses, all shouting a todo pulmón, Fidel, amigo, el pueblo está contigo. I could see Abuela attending meetings of the party, proudly and dutifully giving intel on potential Yankee imperialist traders to the neighborhood watch. I could also see Abuela powdering apart like talc when she herself visited the US of A and decided to stay, knowing her only son's future plans fell anywhere between fake passports to building a raft of stolen materials. Anything to get to where he openly called libertad. Abuela became a U.S. citizen because I was born one, all the while loving Fidel Castro with the same ardent fervor the same desperate blaze she used to love her only son, the only person who hated communism more than Jose McCarthy himself. Mommy always said Abuela's Fidel fetish was proof of a mental illness, one she had long before dementia. After the revolution, the guys in green showed up like they owned the place because they were about to. Gave Abuela and her entire family 24 hours to evacuate the only home they'd known, and the morning of, her oldest brothers were found in the stables, swinging lifelessly from ropes. Love Fidel Castro? Mommy said, scoffing at either Fidel or the Cozumel 2016 album on her phone screen. Someone who manipulated his people, made them afraid of things that weren't true to control them. Alguien who turned us against each other so we couldn't abrir los ojos, realize who the real problem was. Cubans love repeating their mistakes, I said. Look at who they follow here. Mommy set her phone on her lap. She held her glasses between her eyes and me to get a good look at the girl she and her communist mother-in-law raised alone, but together. I slid my chair from Mommy's purview, parked it next to Abuela. I alternated between staring at the fluorescent bulbs and the purple dots my eyes made on the walls, before spotting the plastic box on the bedside table. I snatched it, replaced it with my feet, crossed them at the ankles. I shook the box, held it to my ear like a seashell, only instead of the ocean, I could hear Abuela's teeth rattling.